Yeah, what's going on, everyone? The reason why I'm chuckling right now is because right before I hit record, Ed was in the middle of mid sentence, and the video just cut to boop. Like,
It's fine. Everything's great.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely hilarious. As always, I'm your host as always. Welcome to Walkin 90. This is your number one show. Once again, we don't do reviews, we don't do previews. We have a conversation about what's going on around the league. We bring the chaos, we bring the vibes. It's Walking 90, your favorite show. Um, we're not going to make any jokes about any hydration, nothing like that. Um,
Yes. I love that we record at the most of randomest of times so
yeah.
that we can make these jokes and people understand them.
These are inside jokes between us that are hilarious. But yeah, man, as always, welcome to the show. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr. Joining me is at Christmas. Kyle's out in Cancun enjoying his best life with his feet up. Chip is moving into his multi-million-dollar mansion out in Omaha. Um, I'm pretty sure Chip has a big enough backyard for Union Omaha to have their stadium now. I'm assuming. I'm assuming. Um, First and foremost, Eb,
Hey,
this week has been fun. This has been
that
good. I'm happy because the kids are fun. But,
I'm happy because your brainchild came to life and we are now here.
it
And
did.
I'm so excited for it.
It did. So if you don't know what our brainchild is, well, my brainchild, our brainchild, it is the Chaos BCS. We're gonna go into it a little bit deeper, but pretty much 45 minutes worth of soccer prove why it was the right decision for us to make this a thing this year. Um, it was absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious. Um, but before we get into what we're going to talk about on the show tonight, because we got a lot to talk about, make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe. Right now, we are at 110 followers on YouTube.
Let's
So
go.
by June, we are
Mhm.
trying to get to 130. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Get us to 130. Who knows? We might do a special live show at 150, or or if we get to 200 in Madison, who knows? All three of us might get Walking 90 tattoos. Who knows?
Wait,
I don't know.
I'll fuck it. Why not?
Right. That'll be wild. We'll see. But
I like
uh,
how we're making this decision without Kyle.
yeah, we're making life decisions without Kyle. This is what happens when Kyle, the adult in the room, is not on the show.
Right.
Um, yeah. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about these first impressions of week one. What was your thoughts overall?
Um, I first of all, this was great content for the league in general because this was a great weekend. It was I in my quick hits I made the Richmond and Georgia South Georgia game my
You did.
chaos game, and
You did.
thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you because you did it. You did it. And then I made the Greenville Westchester game my vibes, and they did it. Like,
They did.
and we got to see two new teams this weekend who kind of held their own. Some in different ways, but we'll talk a little bit about that just in terms of just like what the weekend meant for these new teams and what the weekend meant in general. So I really enjoyed this opening weekend. It really set the tone for 2025.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend overall, especially to get back. I think, and I made this tweet out there on River City 93 about how if USL wants to carve out their own time slot, I think once per week on a Friday, like make it the game of the week. It doesn't have to be Saturday. It doesn't have to be Sunday. It's almost like how MLS is doing this Sunday night football. But
Yeah.
make Friday a thing. And I understand like it might not work in every market, but if you keep it on a rotating thing, so like this Friday is this game and this Friday is that game. Because Saturday is already, let's be real, Saturday's already compact. It's a lot of soccer to watch between USL, MLS, NWSL, USL Super League, League Two, NISA, if that's even still a thing.
I mean,
Uh, I don't think it is. But yeah, I think like having a Friday night game once per week, or maybe like twice a month, I think would be a great way to kind of highlight these smaller markets and kind of put a expose. Like maybe you could do a little pregame, postgame show, 2-man booth for this game, and do it like that way. But it was cool. Friday night soccer was fun, and my first overall impression of the weekend as a whole is that some teams are going to be who they are, some teams are changing, and some teams need to figure out who they are very quickly if they want to succeed. So we're gonna play a little game. We're not gonna break down each game because that's gonna be boring as hell.
Yeah.
So we're gonna only talk about the teams that played this week, and I'm gonna start you off with the first one, and we'll go all the way down. Give me one sentence on the Richmond Kickers.
When they're on, they're electric.
Okay. South Georgia Tormenta.
When they're on, they're wild. Because I feel like that needs an explanation, because I could have said the same sentence for both, and the Kickers would be in like a good way, and Tormentas would be in a bad way. Yeah. And I hate to say that because I love Tormenta. I love their model. I love what they do, but everything about them being on, just like on offensively, just made their entire defense just collapse. So they can either be really good offensively or really good defensively, and they're just gonna crumble. Like that.
I would say this though, like
they're fun.
No, yeah. Oh, Turnbridge, he's a player to keep your eye out for.
Yeah,
he got something down. I would say this: he need to work on his celebration game, because why are you telling your own fans in a crowd of 911 people to shush? That, sir, I need you to think about that before you do it again. But overall, he was a fun player to watch. I think the thing about Tormenta is, one, they need vintage Austin Pack to come back. They need him, because I think on at least two of the goals he could have saved. He could have saved and had better positioning. And the flip side of Richmond, and look, yes, I am saying this with rose-tinted glasses. I'm not afraid to say that. As a Richmond Kickers fan, it was fun to see a team use and understand pressing triggers, because that ain't something we ain't seen in about a year and a half. So that was fun. All right, moving on to the next game. Give me one sentence about Westchester Soccer Club.
Get a midfield, get a goal.
I'll give you mine. Obregon dives, and as always.
That, you know what? That's fair, because
that man dove in slow motion.
You know what? That is fair, because that was one of the few highlights I watched, and I was like,
there's no way. In real time, I was like, there's no way this ref is going to call this. Because if you look at the pin that happened in the South Georgia Tormenta game, Cloudy earned that. That man 2-footed dove. That man left his feet. You ever seen the meme of like the soccer player just jumping in midair?
Yeah.
That was Cloudy.
No, I mean, yes, but no. The Westchester one was worse. That one was worse. Like,
yeah, he earned it. He earned his yellow card to get the pin. This one, Obregon. That man fell in slow motion. That man fell like he had a life alert.
The ref was just like also in slow motion, and
it was like a senior citizen dive.
Everything was in slow motion for 45 seconds, and then he finally called the PK, and I was like,
oh, we're back.
Did you just catch up? By the time he called the PK, Obregon was still falling.
It was bad.
It was
bad.
It was not. It was, that game frustrated me, because I'm like, neither one of you looked good, I should say. Like, you saw flashes of brilliance in Greenville, like, they can play.
Yeah.
But
Well, since we're talking about Greenville, give me your one sentence about Greenville.
Ain't nothing changed but the year.
Hey, bro, same thing. Ain't nothing changed.
Like, you got a whole new coach and y'all kept the same fucking system.
This is a whole coach for another year. Like, hey, look, Tyler Pollock's still there. Brandon Fickey's still there. Evans is still there. Like, it's like y'all, like y'all hold it on for this stadium. Y'all hold it on for this stadium. Because I'm like, Brandon Fickey, like, hey,
do something different. Do something different.
We gotta slow this down, dog. And, all right, so like this is my point about this game, because I thought Westchester, I thought they were going to play a lot quicker, right? And it just seemed as if they was determined to, we have to build, like we have to play out the back.
I think that's the problem with modern American soccer. Anyway, they think they have to build from the back. No, you don't. Go fucking hoof it, because you know what they did. If you look at the heat map, they played entirely on the wings. They wanted you to run up and down. They left the entire midfield up to Greenville. They said, you can have it. We don't want it. We're going to play out the back. We're going to play up the sides and maybe get a cross in. For what?
And this is a crazy stat. And this just proves your fact. So Jonathan Bolaños, everyone knows J-Bo, right? Everyone knows how good of a player he is, how electric he was for Richmond. He had the least amount of touches of any outfield player that played 90 minutes. He had 34 touches. Greenville gave you the wings and said, you're not playing through the middle. What did Westchester do? Damned if we don't. We're going to play through the middle. And it's like, I was watching the game. And then also, like, Greenville's turn PK, I don't understand how the ref called it. I really think the ref was like, I got to do a makeup call to make up for that PK, so I'm just going to call this somewhat foul in the box to make it 1-1. But as soon as that happened, I literally tweeted out, the worst thing Westchester can do is to slow this game down because it's going to go into Greenville's hands. They have to speed this game up. The way how you beat Greenville is you speed the game up. You speed it up. And what did Westchester do? They start slow walking it. They start trying to build out the back. They try to do intricate passes. And it's like, yo, get the ball out on the wings and let the wingers go. But they were so determined to go, like, not Route 1. It was like Route 7. Like, build out the back, get it to the midfielders. Like, the midfielders get it to the – like, it was like, y'all got to speed this up.
For what? They said we got our point. They got their point in the 18th minute, and they said – job well done. We didn't lose on opening day.
I was like, bro, we got to speed this up, man. And so if I'm a Westchester fan, yeah, I'm excited. It's my first game. You know, we got first points of the road in a tough place in Greenville. But that speed of play, you gotta quicken it up. It's gonna work sometimes. My fault, I hit my mic. It's gonna work sometimes against certain teams, right? Teams that can't possess as well, you possess. But if you don't quicken up that speed, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I think they knew who Greenville was, so they just like overplayed it and overthought the game.
Probably so. Yeah, first game and everything. I mean, it's the first game, but first impressions was like, I thought one thing, like, oh, they're gonna go on the wings, they're gonna play a lot, you know. Get it out on the wings, play that way, and it was very much, no, we're building this out the back, and we're like, oh, okay. All right, give me one word. I mean, not one word. Give me your one sentence on Chattanooga.
Because nothing really changed about Chattanooga. They still here despite all odds.
I'll give you my one word. Chattanooga. They love a good fight. They love a good fight. They might not get the 3 points, but they gonna win that fight.
They're gonna win the BCS. They're gonna win the CBS. They may not win the league, but they're gonna win the CB. You know what I mean?
Look.
Because what is this red card?
Bro, he crashed out. Homeboy crashed out. Yo, So this is the thing. I was watching the game up until the 75th minute, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go leave, go do something. I come back, it's 1-1 with a red. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? I'm thinking the red is like a well-earned red. Like, oh, he tried to, last his stave, he saved it off the goal line, something crazy, right?
No.
Nah. Homeboy dove up with Lagarde, with the goalkeeper of the FC Naples. Delgado missed it and it crashed out.
You want to know the craziest part? I thought because I didn't even look at the highlights. I just was like, all right, I'm on FotMob. Let me check the scores because we already had that really good game 4-2, the Westchester game. I was like, you know what? I don't have I had my own game, so I didn't get to watch this one. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, a red card. I thought the red card happened for the penalty. No, the red card happened 20 minutes later. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, so maybe it's a coach. No. I went to go look at it. Full crash out. I was like, what
I support it. I support it. Full-heartedly, I support it. Because he crashed out. That man was ready to take out Brett Evans, Dillinger, Delgado, Glasser. He was ready to take them all out. He didn't care.
Bruh, they called for 8 minutes of stoppage, and he crashed out in that last minute. And we're like, all you had to do was wait 15 more seconds.
Yo, I had to go back and rewind it because I was like, all right, maybe I missed something. Like maybe someone threw a punch at him. No, he just crashed out.
He said, I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane, and just
that man is the George Pickens. He went full George Pickens.
It was phenomenal in the sense that it's game one, dude. You already on vacation now because now you get 2 weeks off.
Died laughing. Like I was like, oh, he really crashed out. Like he really went all out.
Did somebody make a your mama joke? Like nothing prepared anybody for.
Only thing I remember, and not only thing I remember this man backed up, pushed Brett Evans, and swung. I was like, oh. Oh, he about it.
Okay, so now that we've gotten to that point, we might as well bring out the Chaos BCS because that was worth some things for him. Like,
oh my god. Well, before we bring that out, what's your thoughts on FC Naples?
I didn't get to watch them, so I really need to go back and actually look at that game because that game was on during my NCFC game. So
I will say this is a great crowd out there at FC Naples. They have a good setup. Like if you just listen to the atmosphere, and they have the fans right behind. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the South Goal. It's a real good setup out there. My only thing about how they play, you're gonna. I hit my mic again. I'm sorry. You're gonna see this when they play. Mm-hmm. They get in their own head, so they'll have moments where they can break on Chattanooga, and then they're like, "Oh no. Let's pull it back. Let's try to build this out." Ooh, they got bailed out by a questionable pin call. If there was VAR, maybe it goes a different way, but who knows? Neither here nor there. Have you seen Chattanooga's goal?
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
I just went to watch the red card because I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm telling you, this might be probably up there for goal of the season.
Goal of the season, sir. There were 6 goals scored on Friday.
Hey, yeah, I get that. This might be goal of the season. How good this goal was. Like, I don't even want to describe it to you yet because I want you to see this.
Okay.
Make sure I got the right one. Okay. And this is the thing: the USL highlights doesn't do it any favors either. They don't show you the red card, so you have to go watch the actual game.
Oh yeah, I went to go watch the game and just scroll to the end. Yeah.
Teammate Breck Evans in a center back partnership. Syracuse alum Jason Smith in net. Just 70 minutes and 3
is
saves
it?
made a year ago for the Orange.
This is real professional,
Johnny
but this is
Philippe,
what you get when you watch our show.
He takes the opening kick. We're away for the first time from the Paradise Coast
Okay,
Sports
I think this is it.
And Declan Waters and company.
No, that's not it. What a shot at it.
Which is silly because you have breaks in the thing. You should be telling me where the goal is.
Second purple.
Oh, here it is.
The keeper.
Okay. I want you to watch this goal.
No Chattanooga Red Wolves had a chance at that ball. Here on this Ave Maria replay. Leap with an in-swinging right-footed cross. And Delgado had to go up into traffic to get that ball.
That's a good save. Not gonna lie.
Not afraid of a challenge.
This is it. This is the goal.
First corner kick of the evening. By
if he scores an Olympic goal, I'm closing my laptop. Oh.
And quickly here. Sent it. Whoa!
That's the goal. Yep. Yep. You see why I say this might be goal of the season?
That's crazy. Oh, that's so far out. Oh, that's such a laser. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I just like that he took the chance. The audacity.
Right.
The audacity.
Right. And look, once Chattanooga scored, they played exactly how I thought they was gonna play. We're gonna slow this game down. We're gonna go by set piece, and then Chattanooga crashed out and almost lost the game. But yeah. So, all right, so talking about Chattanooga, we got to talk about the full montage of it. This is the Chaos BCS that everyone's been asking us about. So here's the points, right? This is the full point system. This is how you get your points. This is how you climb up in the polls, right? We got our 4 bowl games set up. So at the end of the year, because we're doing this for all the games, USL League One, Jägermeister, US Open Cup. Okay. At the end of the year, we're gonna have our 4 bowl games. You have the Big Lots Sugar Bowl, the Party City Fiesta Bowl, the Blockbuster Rose Bowl, and the Kodak Orange Bowl. And then the 4 winners of that will go on to play each other, and then we'll go from there. Okay, this is like our version of fantasy football, folks. All right, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should make this like fantasy football. But this is the fun part. Okay, this is the fun part. So, like I was saying, you get 1 point for a win, 1.25 for every goal score over 1. So if you score 2, you get 1.25 for it. Every goal score after the 75th minute is a half a point. A goal from outside the box is worth 2 because, we like bangers.
Right.
Goal scored in stoppage time. So any goal scored after the 90th minute is worth 1. If your player gets a hat trick or a multi-assist game, if you have a player on your team that has one of those 2, you get 4.5 for it. Clean sheet, you get 1.5. Own goal is -5. Yellow card, -1.75. Double yellow is -3.5. Straight red is -6. PK save is 3.5. And I can't see the last one because my camera's in the way. Yeah, that's it.
Miss.
There you go. Oh, yeah. PK miss / save. So PK miss / save means if your player misses the PK or gets it saved in regular time, like a normal game, we're not talking about penalty shootouts. In a regular game, it's -3.5. Because how are you missing a shot that is 99% on goal every time?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the point system. And now I'm thinking maybe we should do fantasy football with this.
Man,
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
We'll talk about it. All right. So everyone can see this is the first official rankings that we have. Okay. Pulling these up now. Ta-da! First official ranking. So the leaders right now are the Richmond Kickers on 12.75. Then you got South Georgia Tormenta at 0.75. You got Greenville Triumph on -0.5 points. You got Westchester on -2.25. Also FC Naples. And then Chattanooga at the bottom, -6.25. So this is the thing. If you look at it, it kind of resembles of the watchability of each team so far. Richard, probably the most watchable team to watch. Then it was Tormenta. You had Greenville. Then Westchester. Then FC Naples are both tied. And then Chattanooga. And you would think Chattanooga went full crash out, but that crash out ended up costing them.
Yeah, it took away the banger.
Yeah. It did take away the banger. That's tough. So, Evan, what are your thoughts on how this poll ranks up so far to how teams compared on week one?
I think you're right. Like, it shows, like, honestly, the better the value of the point, it does show, like, how enjoyable a team is to watch. Because that Greenville Westchester game, snooze fest. But look at where it put it, like right there in the middle. It was a balance of chaos, and in the middle was vibes. So I like it. I truly like, once these games again started kicking off, we were talking about before. I was just like, his brain, it's like Yogi's brain at work. It made it happen, and now we have like the greatest thing in the world. I bet
we have a full computer ranking. That's what we got.
USL is about to be calling you right now.
Would it be like, hey, look, instead of playoffs, we can do a BCS. I'm just saying. We should bring it back. Give me straight the schedule. Give me a schedule. How many cupcakes are you playing at home? How many times are you going on the road versus a top-ranked team?
If this got more like the championship, where you don't play every team on the opposite, then strength of schedule would work. But
yeah. So that's what you got there. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun to keep up with and see how this plays out and everything like that. So Ev, we're not close to wrapping up. We're almost there. What are you looking forward to in week two? Like, what are some things that, because the games we got coming up in week two, we got El Pettico between Greenville Triumph and Union Omaha on Wednesday night. That should be a fun matchup.
That would be good.
Yeah, we got a I-85 derby between Charlotte and Richmond. There are Richmond fans going down for this game. And it's also weird because Charlotte Independence is going to be playing 30 minutes before Charlotte FC plays. So I'm interested to see how populated that crowd is going to be. It's also weird because if you watch USL Super, you see Carolina and Saint games versus Independence games. It's two vastly different crowds.
Yeah.
Like, they're able to fill up that other side, and they cannot do it for the Independence. It is wild. Yeah,
it's like same ownership, same stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina's since not like packing the stadium like they did first game, but they're getting a crowd, pretty decent one. But
I don't know, you can't retain them as well.
You cannot get them to go to a Charlotte Independence game to save their life. No. You couldn't give those tickets away at this point. Now I'm like, what's the disconnect?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know the disconnect, but how are you explaining that to the fans like that are looking, and they're like, how come you can do it for the Sin, but you can't do it for Independence? Like, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, you can do it for the Courage, you can't do it for NCFC. So it's gonna be like, I think the Richmond fans will outnumber the Charlotte Independence fans at that game.
That would be wild.
We've done it. I mean, NCFC has done it before where we've literally had them play our goal song when we scored in their stadium because we outnumbered them. Like, it's not. And that's the sad part.
That's
Like,
the sad part. That's the sad part. Fort Madison opens on the road this season against FC Naples, so they get another shot of it at home. And then Tormenta will have another home game against AV Alta. They'll start the season making a trip out east. And then on Sunday at 7 p.m., we got One Knox going out to Spokane Velocity, who I'm not going to lie to you, I think this 7 p.m. game is probably going to be the game that everyone is going to tune into to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. Spokane is a special team, especially out there in the Pacific Northwest. So that should be a really, really good one. I mean, my game to watch is going to be Tormenta versus AV Alta. Just because I want to see what the new guys can do. This is their first game. And then obviously Charlotte versus Kickers is I'm going to call it a new budding rivalry.
It's a good one there. Yeah, Richmond versus Charlotte is a good one. So a reason why I'm into Spokane versus One Knox is because One Knox is, I think they're flying under the radar a little bit. Like, I'm not saying they'll win the league or anything, but like they're a good challenging team there. Spokane, there's a lot of hype around Spokane, and can they match that hype? Give it not, and granted, the hype is earned. You went out there, people thought you was dead in the water. You made a hell of a run, probably the best run in USL League One playoff history to the final. You got the doors blown off you though, unfortunately. But you made it to the final. And then you went out here and spent the bag and got big name players. It's time to show it. It's time to show it there. So moving on to the other week, because we record every other week. So then I think Marshall is saying you got Richmond versus AV Alta, Spokane versus FC Naples, Texoma versus One Knox. So Texoma will kick off their season at home. It's funny because One Knox will be on the road twice and whatnot for that. Yeah, so that's everything there. Yeah, so that's how that will shape out there. Any games there that stand out to you? One Knox will play. Yeah, they'll have the shortest amount of rest, I think, with them in Spokane.
Yes, they do have the shortest amount of rest. I'm excited for Texoma versus One Knox.
Okay. I gotta see. One, I still don't think Texoma is a real place. Two, I'm actually I don't. They can tell me it is. People can tell me, oh, I got family there. No. But I mean, also it's a short game week. Only 3 games. I do like the staggered kickoff times. So we got 6, we got 7, we got 8. So you can kind of watch all 3 games at once. I think a game I'm gonna be interested for is Richmond versus AV Alta. If AV Alta can get a good win against Tormenta, how do they come up to Richmond, and how does that go for them? Also, FC Naples versus Spokane. That could be another intriguing good game there. Yeah.
Honestly, that is just a really good weekend of games. Like, that's going to be – I mean, the Kickers game is obviously going to be electric, especially if they're coming in to home with a 2-0 like record. That would be really, really cool. So I just think that whole weekend is going to be really, really fun. But I haven't seen a bad potential game yet, except for Naples versus Forward. I don't really. I do like what lower league soccer is doing in Florida, because they're saying FU to like MLS and like all the big names. Because if you look at Super League, well, they're D1, but still Super League with the Tampa Bay Sun, Fort Lauderdale United, FC Naples. They come with like this energy, right? Like it's not a big stadium. You're not gonna see 15,000, but you're gonna feel the electric pulse of a fan base, and that's really, really cool to see. So
yeah, but I mean, also like, I think there's certain markets that in USL League One that serves a purpose. Like Naples was never going to be like an MLS market, right? Because they would have folded it into Miami or Orlando, wherever. It fits them. Like, yo, we can make this our own and make this our own market. And then a couple years down the road, you got Sarasota coming in, so now you got a budget of rivalry there. I think like if USL can build out smart. I mean, we talked about it before. Like, what areas of the country do you want to see them build out into? Like, I think Florida's definitely a hot ground. It's good weather. You can find some players that are quote unquote MLS quality and put them there.
yeah.
I think it's not too bad. So yeah, those are the games that we're probably going to be looking at for the week. I am interested to see how this Chaos BCS ranking changes when we come back in 2 weeks. Because I mean, I'll put it out again on the 17th, but like on the 23rd, when we do our show, I'm interested to see what that poll look like then.
You mean the 24th?
I mean, yeah, the 24th. My bad. I'm interested to see what it looks like then. I'm gonna be surprised. Because
I think there's gonna be some. I think that there's going to be one team that shocks everyone, and I think it's going to be AB Alta.
Okay. Yeah. I will say this though. I think so. There's two teams that I think if things don't go their way, we are low key sliding that panic button. Well, maybe three. I'll go three. One knocks. Lose on the road to Spokane. Well, never mind. I'll take one knocks because losing on the road to Spokane against a team that's probably one of the highest wage earners is not that bad. So I'll take one knocks. My fault. I'll say two: Richmond and Tormenta. If Richmond loses 2 games in a row, it's gonna be a little spicy.
Oh, by the time we come back, I'm like,
yeah, when we come back.
No, I mean, I would be asking questions if you lost to Charlotte.
I think Tormenta is gonna be a little spicy too, because being 0-2 is tough to start the season out with. It's gonna be tough.
I can see that. I can definitely see Tormenta more than I can see Richmond. I think if Greenville has no wins, so even if they tie Union, people are going to look back at the Westchester game and be like, "How'd you not take 3 from a new team?" So I'm looking more at Greenville.
FC Naples is another one as well, because if they don't have a win out of the first 3 is going to be like,
I don't know about that, because this is what their second. They would have played 3 games.
Yeah.
But they're still also trying to figure each other out. So,
well, I mean, you would have looked at it like the Chattanooga game is a must, is a not a must win, but like a game that we should have gotten the full 3 points out of.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying like disrespectful to FC Naples anyway. Like if you lose to Madison and you lose to Spokane, like those are 2 probably the top 4 teams in USL League One.
Yeah,
I think they would look back and be like, damn. We could have had 3 points and, licked our wounds after these 2 games and figured out there. Funny enough, after all these games, everyone would have played except for Portland Hearts of Pine, who does not have their first league game until March 29th. And I think the only reason why they did that is because, nope, they're still on the road. They don't have their first home game. Jeez, now we're getting into April.
I mean, nobody's playing in Portland, Maine in the winter, so.
Yeah. When is their first home game?
Their first home game is not until.
Well, I mean, the U.S. Open Cup, but their first league home game is until
May 4th.
May 4th against One Knox. So, yeah. Whew.
That means they're going to have a fully loaded back end where they have a lot of home games.
Mm.
And that is true. From September to October, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games. So
Yeah. that is going to be insane.
Wow.
Eb. But I guess we leave it on this one. Anything else from you, homie, before we wrap up?
No, I feel like we hit our main point of we have fully reined in chaos to our needs, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So once again, if you support the chaos, man, let us know. Like, this is definitely a fun thing that we're doing this year. Something different because you got enough shows talking about the league, and they do a wonderful job of that. We wanted to bring something different. So as always, make sure you go check out League One Updater. He does great work. Alex there. League One on the Rocks. League One Under the Sea. The USL show. Is there anyone else I'm forgetting that covers the league?
No.
Okay, that's all I'm thinking. But I want to put this plug in there too. If you are listening to this morning show, by the way, you are a rock star. If you have a podcast out there and you want us to promote it, hit us up.
Right.
Let us know so we can work with you. And we try to, spread the love out there. God, how am I wrapping this show up, Ebony? I lost my
I don't
train of
know.
thought.
There was not enough chaos to happen before the show. We already made those jokes.
We did. There was a lot of jokes. So wait, for real. For real listeners, we love y'all. You guys have an amazing, amazing night. Be on the lookout for the rest of the content we're dripping out. And yeah, we will holler at you guys later. Be easy and be safe.